Hey guys, welcome back to Sense. I know it looks like there's a lot of people here. That's because there are, and it's all incredible artists. So, I want to introduce you guys. We'll introduce Chelle Nae, Ambition,
What's up?
Samara Cyn,
And you guys know me, Juno, back at it again. And today I just wanted to introduce these lovely ladies. They have been making an impact in Phoenix, and they're making things even hotter. So today we're going to get into it. We're going to kick it off. We have some really juicy questions for you guys. Are you ladies ready?
No.
No?
I've been ready.
Because we took our time on these, baby. All right. So I guess I'll let you start.
All right, so I mean, we just kind of wanted to address kind of what's been going on with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, and just really more so not what's going on with them personally, but more so what comes next, really, because what we're seeing is there's a lot of backlash towards Megan for being honest about what happened, and then once you hear the whole story, if you watched her IG Live, you kind of get the picture, and it kind of tells you like, oh, well, you know, she's been doing her best. She was doing her best to protect everybody in that situation as it kicked off, where it was you had like a lot of police officers there that were currently there, and she was saying like, oh well, I didn't want to do anything that would make the situation worse by telling them that Tory had a gun and you know putting us all in danger. So like one of the things that we wanted to address was kind of just like, do you guys feel like she's been heard at all? Like, do you feel like she's had a voice in any of this, or really more so some of the things that come from like black women being unprotected inside
the music industry today? And it's just like we see a lot of it, and not just black women, it's women of color in general who face a lot of different double standards in this music industry. So that's one of the things that we want to really bring up today in the conversation. So, you know, as a woman, do you guys feel like your voice is heard? And that you guys can give me any type of, you know, answer is fine. But we definitely want to see where you guys' heads are. So I'm going to start with you, because you're smiling the most. So we're going to start with Chelle today.
I mean, I've been in the music industry for a very long time, writing for a lot of different artists. And I think there definitely is a double standard, especially when it comes to music, especially like R&B and hip-hop. I feel like it's a lot harder for women to make it, just because you naturally have to go like 20 times harder than a male.
Right.
Even just with the way you dress, how you look, things that you say, making sure that you know, you're always on cue. You're always making sure that you're saying things in a compliant way. And I think that like the cancel culture is very heavy lately.
Right.
And so it makes the pressure to kind of just make sure that you keep that image up even harder.
I definitely like that answer, Brandon. I definitely do. And like you ladies can, you know, bring your opinions on, because it's definitely it's a table talk right now. Like, you know, so you guys can chime in anytime. But
So, Cyn, how do you feel like in pertain to that?
Well, one, prayers out to Meg for all the stuff that she's been going through and things like that. I mean, I feel like at this point we just have to support her, and I feel like call out the situation. I feel like certain things just can't go unspoken about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't know the whole situation that went down that night. I don't feel like all of us really do. But I do think it is important for us to call attention to supporting women of color. You know what I'm saying? The least protected. I feel like it's just like, you know, they always talk about if you go to a doctor, you got a broken arm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but, you know, I'm checking on this, that, and the third. Okay, but my arm is broken. You know what I'm saying? This is where we need to put our attention towards. So I agree with Chelle. Like, there's definitely a double standard. You know what I'm saying? It is harder. There's always the female rapper bracket instead of, you know, I'm not a good female rapper. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good rapper.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? This is a skill that anybody could have. You know what I mean? It's not no masculine trait to it that can whatever. But there is that double standard, that extra pressure, because like oh, I don't want to be over sexualized, or I don't want to be, you know, people to write me off because I'm not putting my, you know what I'm saying, myself out there, or like, whatever the case. But as far as Meg Thee Stallion is concerned, she's going through all that shit. She just dropped a hot ass music video and a song with Cardi B. So I feel like end of the day, Meg Thee Stallion is winning. You know what I'm saying? As far as her music goes, and so we root for you, girl.
Okay, and I love that answer. You know, that just brings me to my point here. Like, you know, I want to know. Well, actually, I do want to hear from you, Ambition, before I even get into that question, because I know that this is going to be a big question for everybody to answer at the same time. So, Ambition, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not a big follower of the news and things like that, but these are two artists that I really am a fan of. I enjoy, I admire, you know, so I did kind of dive a little bit into it, and I just thought it was strange that, you know, Megan is getting backlash for speaking out, but like Tory, you know, obviously I haven't really heard anything from him, so I think that's a little bit weird. But I mean, she took one for the team that night. Like if that had happened to me, like I probably would have done the same thing. But like to get backlash for it, I don't think that's fair at all. Because if it were the other way around, let's say it was Tory that got shot, you know, like who knows, you know,
how people would have reacted. Right.
I feel like it would be a different response, unfortunately. And so I really like both of your answers, but I'm totally the same way. Like I'm a rapper, not just, you know, female rapper. And I truly believe in my skill too. And you know what? I have my friends, my family, my supporters who back that up. So I don't really feel threatened by it being like a male dominated industry, just because I know who rides with me, and that's who's important to me. Like I don't really care.
And like you said, it's a skill thing. Like, you know what I mean? I rap better than some of your niggas too. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax, my G. Like, it's a skill thing. If I'm coming with the skill, it don't matter who's in the room. I'm showing my skill regardless.
Right,
regardless. You know what I'm saying? And I could be in any bracket as long as it's around my skill. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna earn it, and I'm okay if there's people that are better than me. There's always gonna be somebody that is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a skill thing. So
I was, because there's kind of this pattern that I see a lot, and what I see is women of color going to bat for men of color, but men of color not really following through consistently at all. In any, I mean, to be completely blunt about it, like you see a lot of that like missing inside of you know, just men of color's, you know, communities. Whereas, you know, women of color will go to bat to make sure that a man doesn't go to prison, doesn't go to jail, doesn't get, you know, assaulted by the police, because we know that's something we live with now. So, you know, or have always lived with, but now it's in the public eye. But like I said,
you gotta think too. I feel like, you know, just like there's a white gaze, there is a male gaze. And so women of color face oppression in two forms. They face it not only for their color, you know what I'm saying, but they also face it for their gender. You know what I'm saying? So just like there is, you know, a certain type of privilege that comes with being of a lighter complexion, you know what I mean? That same type of privilege comes for a man who doesn't have to grip his keys when he's walking home at night, a man who doesn't have to, you know, think about, oh, I can't go here by myself because something bad might happen, or I might get snatched up, or whatever the case may be. Or, you know, even with the Meg Thee Stallion thing, like I really felt for her when she had said, you know, of course I still want to protect this man who just harmed me, you know, because we see what's happening in the world right now, you know what I'm saying? And it's not just in the media today. This has been going on for forever, you know what I'm saying? So it's like repetitions in history, and still having to be the one that's like takes on the strong leadership. You know what I mean? I got all this stuff coming at me from all these different angles, but I'm still the one carrying the team on my back because I care about my community. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So. And that just brings me to the question. Do you guys think if it was anybody else other than Megan, you know, if it wasn't Megan Thee Stallion, would she have been taken seriously? If it was Ariana Grande, if it was like Kesha or somebody like that, you know, do you think that anybody would have laughed?
So just... Yeah, like
just, why would you say that?
I think just the fact that there's a stigma attached to our color, and the fact that, you know, if you look at, you know, social media, you didn't see very many people talking about canceling Tory Lanez. They were more so ridiculing Megan, making jokes about her, making memes about her, and so I just think that if she were any other color, you know, of a lighter complexion, then they would have taken it a lot more serious.
Right. And
He wouldn't have been just, you know, he wouldn't have just went to jail for, you know, possessing a gun. They would have automatically assumed that he shot her, even if she didn't, you know, claim that.
Right. And do you have anything to add on to that ambition?
You kind of just gave me a different perspective on that too. Like, and just the fact that you asked that, like, okay, if it was a, you know, a different situation, a different artist, yeah, like, I honestly, unfortunately for Megan Thee Stallion, I think it would be taken more serious. You know, that's unfair, unfortunately.
It is unfair. And, you know, and that also brings me to, like, you know, you guys as artists, you know, I'm pretty sure we've all had our fair share of being in a room where we felt uncomfortable, you know, with men that are either producers or we're working with them. And so are you guys worried that people will take you less seriously when you try to have the conversations about social issues outside of your music? Like, if you guys have your platform, you know, and you guys are speaking, you guys are talking about Black Lives Matter, it doesn't even have to be Black Lives, but do you feel like people are still going to be able to take you seriously?
Yeah.
And why do you say that?
I feel like, because today we don't have, you know, a Malcolm X or like a Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? We don't have activists that are around that, like, their job is to be an activist. You know what I'm saying? We got Sean King. Can you name any other people?
I mean, it's the personality aspect of it.
Yeah.
We don't have that personality.
Exactly. But we're looking at these artists, these rappers, these celebrities to kind of go into that role, and it's like that's not necessarily what they signed up for. You know what I mean? They
That's
signed
what
up to make
looks
music.
J. Cole to do. Like,
Exactly. Or even T.I. And I mean, he of course, like, he takes on that role, like, very,
Right.
Exactly. But I mean, when you have the platform, people are going to listen to you. So it's up to you what you choose to do with that platform. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm ride or die for my community before the platform, after the platform, while I'm getting the platform. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't get the platform, I'm ride or die for my community. So at the end of the day, you know, of course you want people to listen to what you're saying, but I'm saying it anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
right. We only live once. We only live
For
once.
real.
So we have to use our voice now. This is the time.
Yeah.
You know? So what about you over there? You know? How are you feeling?
I think that people will respect whatever I have to say because they're aware that I'm more than just an artist. You know, I'm not just an artist. I'm a mother. You know, I'm
You're a
a
person.
teacher. You know, I'm a collegiate scholar. You know, I'm so much more than just an artist. And so for someone to narrow, you know, what type of content I'm expressing to just music only, is kind of diminishing my value as a person. In general.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Right. And yeah, like I honestly feel blessed to know that the people that I've surrounded myself with as far as my platform, they trust me. I've given them that side of me and that vulnerability with my music, with networking, whatever it is. If we had a chance to meet face to face, I feel that people trust me, trust what I have to say. So I think that's a blessing for all of us to be able to say, hey, like, we feel like we're heard. Like, that's a privilege, honestly. But we've also worked for that. You know, I feel like, you know, it doesn't fall out of the sky.
Exactly. Like, it's genuinity. It's authenticity.
Authenticity. That's what
Yeah.
they see.
You know what I mean?
That's what
Just
they
being
look at.
you.
Right.
So that kind of leads me into it with where you're talking about your emotions and the going into your vulnerability. Do you guys ever feel like you experience gender bias in the industry when you kind of filter your music and you filter your content through if it's filtered through your emotions or like your raw feelings in that moment? Do you feel any kind of bias in that sense of where someone may feel like, oh, well, she's just saying that because she's a woman, or like she's feeling that way, that's just how women feel, you know what I mean? Or you're experiencing any situations like that kind of pop up where it makes it difficult to say, or not difficult to say, but it makes you want to say, like, no, this is something that everybody experiences, not just me. This isn't just me experiencing this is everybody. So do you guys ever experience some of like those gender biases popping up in the industry, or just in people with people when they're, you know, just passing?
Yeah, for me, honestly, I'm blessed again to like not really have that feeling. I feel like I'm just very raw. I can relate to men and women, for sure, and that's the purpose when I write too. Is it's so important to be relatable.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it at that. So thank God I've never felt like I've been put in that box or anything like that, any sort of bias. Like I really feel like it's just something relatable
to everybody. Like
Right.
everybody gets a taste of ambition when they hear you. Like it's men, women, children, you know, so it's a wide spectrum for you. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like anybody who has a business, right, whether that's artistry or, you know, a carpet cleaning business or you're selling a product, like you have a target audience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like, you know, if you want to make music for the biddies, make music for the biddies. If you want to make music for the club hoppers, make music for the club hoppers.
I feel that.
It really just goes into what you want to do. And I feel like with music, it's different because you could be so versatile with music. Mm-hmm. You could have so many styles with music. You could talk about anything you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So there are times when, you know, I'm feeling some type of way and I make something, and this is for my ladies. You know, my ladies gonna feel this one. But there's also times where I'm spitting and anybody who's hearing it is gonna feel like they the shit because I'm in the song talking about how I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to be able to flow to my stuff or whatever the case. But at the same time, it just depends on the song, getting that target audience or whatever. You know, you don't want them to put you in a box at all.
Right.
So
Definitely not.
I think that I haven't had to experience gender bias, but definitely genre bias.
Okay.
I think that a lot of people feel like music comes easy to me because I'm a singer, and that I should be limited to just singing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I said, I'm so much more than that. You know, I have the ability to rap. But I think that, like I said, it's a little bit harder for me for individuals to take me serious in regards to like rapping. So every time I do a rap, I have to make sure that it's hard. I have to make sure that, you know, my bars are solid.
Right.
You know, I can't just put out anything if I'm going to be rapping because people already respect me and take me seriously as a singer.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for me to, you know, not do another genre justice kind of would just diminish my value as an artist again, like I said.
Yeah. And they feel like it's a surprise when you do something different. Like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not your lane. And as an artist myself, I've definitely experienced what you guys have all experienced. So I can relate to having that gender bias, you know, especially just that, especially in the genre. You know, I'm an R&B indie soul artist, but I can do so much more. So I totally feel that when you said that. So
that's something too, Chelle. Like, you get that too when people ask you, "Oh, I'm an artist." Oh, well, they automatically assume that I sing or something like that. Well, you know, just because I'm a woman, why I gotta sing or whatever the case may be. Or like people trying to be like, "Oh, well, she sing, that's all she do." Nah, bro. Like I can get into this and I can get into that or whatever the case may be. Like don't. I've told people that I was a rapper and have people laugh in my face. But I feel like that's everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the homies have told somebody that they a rapper too, and like, you know, we not there yet, but you know, it is kind of like this stigma, like, oh, that's cute, you know what I'm saying, like that type of shit. It's like, nigga, wait till I rip your life apart.
Amen. That rapper is not cute.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, part of my like reasoning for talking about the emotional part and the raw aspect of it is because there's that we go into that double standard because with men in a male dominated industry like rap and then in R&B you get, you know, pigeonholed into, you know, whether you're emotional or not, but really more so in rap, it being male dominated, you have that kind of, oh, well, you know, he's putting his emotions on it. When a dude puts his emotions on the track, like, you know, this is crazy, like, this is dope, like, especially if he does it well and he's, you know, he's really lyrical with it, or he's saying something and he's being meaningful with it. But I feel like there's kind of a double standard that comes into it, because if the emotion that you feel is that you are a bad bitch and that you are going to come out there and you are going to slay every other bitch in the club, if that's the emotion that you're feeling, why are you not allowed to feel that? Exactly. Why are you not allowed to go out there and say that on the track? I don't understand it, because you have so much hate coming. You have so much hate coming to these women like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and others in that same lane.
We're talking about the same things that everybody else
Mulatto, you know, I've heard pussy in so many songs. Sorry, Mom. I really have. You know what I mean?
But you hear cats talking about their dick and how it swings. Like, there should be no.
That's my jam.
But no, he's right. He's right. And it sucks. And I've seen TikToks with this, people saying, like, it's the same thing. Like, back that ass up. Okay, you're talking about women's asses. Like, come on now. Like, we've all heard, you know, the music that's being played on the radio today, mainstream.
It ain't no fun if the homies can't have fun.
Right. So, you know, it's just a shame for people to, you know, have that attitude in today. And everybody's so sensitive in 2022. So it's like being a woman, and if you say one wrong thing, everybody's like, oh my God, you know,
she's supposed to be the role model for my children.
Right. She's canceled. And I'm like, you know what? You can't cancel me, Becky.
So, how does that we kind of got into it, but like how does that make you guys feel individually, like dealing with that double standard in the industry and then watching that kind of stuff happen?
Because it's like, if you guys actually, you know, like make it, you guys are, you know, in Arizona right now, but when you guys make it bigger, you know, I know you guys are going to face way more. So it's like, how are you guys going to have that attitude going into it? Because you guys might be confronted with a situation where it's not so easy to just be like, ignore it, basically. You're going to have to stand by your word. You're going to have to buck up, you know. Yeah. So how are you guys going to deal with that? Yeah.
You guys completely, you ladies too, like open up a whole new perspective, because I didn't even think about it in YouTube, Brian, like just thinking about, okay, well, it's different when a male says things as opposed to a female. So honestly, like, I just got to keep being me, you know, regardless. You know, it's okay for me to want to, you know, be vulnerable. If these men can do it, like, women should be able to do it too, you know. And also be conscious that I'm not judging other artists in the same way, you know what I mean? Right. Being an artist, I need to make sure I keep myself, you know, because I'm sure we could all, you know, have our certain biases too without even realizing it. So this kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, damn, y'all are right. Like, this really does happen, you know. Like, I think that's something maybe I've ignored, you know. But I definitely just want to watch myself, make sure I'm not guilty of the shit, and, you know, just keep it moving.
Right, and keep it pushing. I love that.
Chelle, how does...
I think, to me, it depends on how the progression happens. Because, obviously, if you get signed to a label, they're expecting you to have a certain sound. They're expecting you to fit in a certain box and rap a certain type of thing. That's why you see the majority of female rappers out rapping about the same things, because that's what's hot and that's what the industry sells. And I think that if the credibility is like, it comes from being an independent artist, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. And because at the end of the day, like, my fans know me in every realm, and so they respect me regardless of what I put out.
I love that. Yeah, I love that a lot, Chelle, and that's very true. They will love you. Honestly, you're amazing. we know.
Nah, I feel like I take it as a challenge. That gives me boss vibes. I feel like it's more motivation to know what the fuck I'm talking about when I walk into a room, and to carry myself like, yeah, you're not gonna sit me at the little girl table, my G. Like, I'm up here, and I got myself here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, with help from the team. But you know, I got myself here, and I can hold myself here. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're smart women. Right. We're pretty women. That's true. Yeah. But it's something beneath that. There's something deeper than that, and they gonna feel it, even if they can't see it right off the bat. I love that moment where, like, you really show people, like, what you got, you know what I'm saying? Or you show people what's up, and there's that, like, moment of silence, like, oh, shit, we wasn't taking her serious at the beginning. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's like, oh, shit, she actually kind of hot.
Capable of.
Yeah, I love that moment.
Their tune so much.
I love that moment, so.
I love that. Well, honestly, Branden, I think we heard so much from these ladies today.
Yeah.
I'm in awe of all of you guys right now, and just like being able to pick your brains, and yeah, so I definitely think, you know, moving forward, everybody has a new perspective. When your families watch this, you guys have some new perspective, friends. So this is awesome. Definitely. Thank you, girls. Thank you, ladies, for, you know, coming on the show and giving us that, you know, different vibe that we were looking for. So we really appreciate all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. It means a lot to us.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Get that extra.
All right. So coming up next, guys, we have Chelle as our first interview, and we're super excited. So let's get ready for that.